Aries, this is the month of the dive. We are taking a leap of faith. It is a month of fated trip. It is like we're standing on a ledge and we have been thinking of going skydiving, but there have been doubts in our head and we have been holding back and there has been inertia. This is the month when we finally decide to take the jump. We take a leap of faith this month. We rip the bandage off because Uranus, the planet that gives us freedom, gives us excitement, is re-entering our sign for the last time for the next 84 years to rip the band-aid off. It is clearing the doubts off for the last time so we can move on and end an old way of being and start this new cycle. The new cycle will only ring in Jan 2019, but you would already be taking the steps in the month of November to end something, and at the same time we are being given the beautiful expansive opportunity to initiate something new, because we have two new transits, two new changes which are happening between 6th to 8th of November. North Node and South Node, which define our karmic path, are changing sign on 6th of November, right in time for the midterm elections in the US. And on 8th of November, Jupiter, the great benefic that provides us expansion and luck, is moving into its own sign in Sagittarius for the next year. That is a beautiful start of a cycle, a beautiful, adventurous, expansive, even to call it, there is no other way to call it. It's a lucky cycle that is starting for you. This is a faith cycle that is starting for you, a faith in your future, faith in yourself, the faith in that higher powers are on your side is starting off in the month of November, which is an extremely positive start. You can't make everybody happy, so in the process of this new start and the endings that you're doing this month, there will be some conflicts that are going to happen. They will specifically be happening around end of this month, starting from 23rd of November full moon. But Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, they're all together on 26th, 27th of November. This is your expansive new start. You will be initiating all of that around mid of December or start of January, when Mars is moving in your sign on 31st of December. Mars, your ruler, is moving in your sign, and you're ringing in and starting right off the bat. You're calling the shots and you're starting the new year on your terms. And there are two eclipses that are happening in January, which are completely removing the old career, the old way of being, the old way of handling the authority figures. All of that is happening from now on to December to ring in the new start in January. This is sort of the ending that you've been looking to do, but the karmic ties had been holding you back, and now you're finally breaking those ties and moving on. The first half of the month of November is better for business discussions, especially before 15th or 16th of November. So between 9th to 11th or even up to 13th of November is great time to have the talk as well as to act in terms of the business as well as relationships, because Sun will be making some powerful transits. Venus and Mars will be in positive aspect to each other. So between 9th to 13th is excellent time for you to do some of the business related talk and action, as well as relationship talk and action is better handled during that time, because Mercury will be going retrograde on 16th of November, which will affect especially your travel plans. It will affect your business discussions. It just makes things a bit more difficult to communicate when Mercury, the planet that rules our logical thinking and communication, undergoes a retrograde period from 16th of November to 6th of December. So just be mindful of that during that time it's better to either be very particular about your travel plans, but in that period of time, if you have to travel, because business doesn't stop for anybody from 16th to 6th of December, but the more potent period is before that. Also 16th of November is an excellent time for creativity, because Venus is meeting the most brilliant star of Spica on 16th of November. That is excellent for any creative endeavors. And then 26th of November, as I said, there are conflicts which will be around. You will handle those conflicts, in my view, very, very positively, because Mars is your ruler. You know how to manage Mars, and that is which will affect most of the people negatively. And at the same time, Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, they are meeting together in your positive karma house, giving you the exactly new start that you've been looking for. This is the first messaging that is coming through of positivity, of possibility of expansion in your ninth house. This is your detailed November 2018 reading. It was important to go over the 2019 key transits to understand why we are taking the leap in 2018 November. So let's understand why this is the month of final fated drip, or the final fated jump that we are taking. We are starting this month with a grand cross between Venus, Uranus, North Node and South Node. These planets and points are in hard aspect with each other in a formation called Grand Cross. Grand Cross is an opportunity to manifest something, provided we overcome the resistance we are facing. The resistance that we are facing, because this is happening in fixed time, is to stick to the old. This is a financial Grand Cross which wants to give us financial abundance, but because of our inertia to want to stick to the old, to want to stick to what's comfortable, we are not taking the jump. And that's where we start the month. We mentally have been going over back and forth on this subject, because Venus has been retrograde from 5th of October. So we have done some deep dive of our joint finances. We have done deep dive on our committed relationships and the proceeds of these committed partnerships, because Venus retrograde cycle for you, Aries, is in 7th and 8th house. And it's about proceeds of committed relationships and your committed relationship. Venus rules your committed relationships, and it was transiting your proceeds from committed relationships. So if you are in a committed marriage partnership or a committed love relationship, it was about realizing whether you are getting the right intimacy in that relationship or not, or there is a need for fresh infusion, or there is a need for detaching from an existing committed partnership. If you are in a committed business partnership, if you're a partner in a business, then it was about whether you're getting paid your worth, whether the proceeds that you're getting out of the partnership that you have at work, is that giving you the right worth that you deserve. Venus retrograde cycle was about breaking old karmic ties, whether they are business or relationship, and moving to the worth you truly deserve, because that's what Uranus and Taurus wants to do. It wants to give you the true worth that you deserve. But because it's all happening in a fixed signs, it's sort of not, it's ticking a little bit. But what happens in November is that on 6th of November, Uranus and the nodes move into cardinal sign. Uranus moves into Aries, North Node and South Node move into Cancer and Capricorn, and this becomes a cardinal Grand Cross by the end of the month. Cardinal Grand Cross wants to act, it wants to initiate new things, and also by the end of the month, Venus would have come out of retrograde and would be ready to go into new ventures. So you will be done with this inertia and you would want to initiate the new cycle. Venus has become a morning star as we start the month, but it is at a very nascent stage of morning star. It is very unstable during this time. Venus in morning star mode, as I spoke about in detail in my Venus retrograde video separately, is all about attaining what you love. It wants to go after your true worth and get it. It wants to go after new opportunities and get it. It's about self-fulfillment. It is about confidence. It's about going for your expansion, thinking for yourself, your value, getting what I deserve. That's what morning star and morning star Venus is all about. This rebirth of Venus, which happened on 26th of October, was about starting a new phase in Venus. But Venus is still retrograde till 15th or 16th of November. So during this time, Venus is still a little bit unstable. Because of that, especially in the first week of November, it is suggested not to initiate new love relationships. It's suggested to not go for quick get-rich schemes. It is suggested to think over the matters more in the first week of November. especially till 2nd of November or 3rd of November, it is suggested to wait. We will be very tempted to go and take a stand. We will be very tempted to break old ties. We'll be very tempted to make a passionate new start. And the gift of North Node in Leo, which is changing on 6th of November, is to give you a new passionate start. But there could be a false new start. There might be some deluding opportunities that might be coming. Just be aware of that. But this is a very, very important transit. It is very important to break away and culminating the old ties for you. It's especially very, very important for Aries which are born on the cusp of Taurus. And if you have any planets between around 25 to 30 degrees of Aries, this is a very potent transit for you. Venus retrograde majorly would be affecting end born Aries. So if you have any planets during the end degrees of the Aries, or if you're born between 15th to 20th of April or 21st of April, especially 21st of April will be majorly affected by this transit. It's a breaking away from the old and going towards your true worth. It's also the gift of Jupiter in Scorpio, which is financial abundance. So you might actually see some new start coming your way, which is offering more financial abundance and healing to you, which is coming through. So it's an excellent start of the month, but just be sure that it will take a few days and not the first few days when you'll have the answer. You're also getting some positive mindset, positive messaging during this time, because Mercury and Jupiter has just met on 29th of October. There is some settlement of karma which is happening. There's a healing of the past loss that is happening. You are understanding that a cycle of suffering is coming to an end and you're moving towards more expansive cycle, which is also supported by Mercury moving into Sagittarius at the start of the month. Mercury moving into Sagittarius means that we are going into positive expansive thinking. There is a great it's a great place for Mercury, our intelligent mind, to be. Mercury was in Scorpio last month and now it is in Sagittarius from 31st of October till 1st of December, and then it will be again in Sagittarius from 12th of December to 4th of January. So most of the rest of the year now Mercury is in the expansive Sagittarius. This is very good for expansion. This is very good for travel. This is very good for adventure. Your mind is like a sponge. Your brain is a sponge. You want to absorb new things. You want to travel. You want to learn. You want to get into writing, publishing. You want to broaden your horizons. You want to contact new people. This is a very positive and happy occurrence, which especially during the very start of the month you feel that change very fast, and it is positively aspecting March born Aries or early Aries during this year. So March born Aries have early opportunities of Jupiter coming their way in this month, in this and next month itself, because Mercury and Jupiter are making contact during this month, and twice by 30th of November and then another time in December. So they would see an early set of opportunities of expansion coming through, of travel coming through. Just a warning, because Mercury will be going retrograde on 16th of November. It's not something to be concerned about. It is a slow down time. When Mercury goes retrograde around this period, it's around holiday season. So it's a period of slow down. It's a period when you require more effort in terms of managing your business communication. You need to check your emails twice. You need to check what you're telling people. Travel plans may not go as planned because Mercury is going retrograde in your travel house from 16th of November to 6th of December. So just try to schedule your business discussions and your travel possibly before 16th of November. Business discussions are best done between 9th to 13th of November, but at the same time nothing stops, life doesn't stop because of Mercury retrograde. Just be extra careful. If you have to travel after 16th of November, just plan ahead and be warned about it, that things might not go as planned, so be flexible about it. Apart from these, Mercury, as is expanding our mind, as I talked about, it has moved into Sagittarius. It forms an in conjunction with Uranus right off the bat at the start of the month on 1st of November. This is, you are envisioning big. when Sagittarius is when Mercury is in Sagittarius, you start to anyways envision big. You're looking at broader horizons right now. You're looking at different things. You're looking at innovation. You're looking to shake off old habits, old comfort zones, and you feel a little bit high at that time. Moon is in Leo at that time. You feel like a king during that time. When Moon is in Leo, it feels good. It feels positive. It feels joyful. Just don't give in to the pride of Leo Moon during 1st and 2nd of November. Stay grounded during this time, because a lot of positivity is coming your way. Mercury is also making positive aspect with karmic nodes, which is giving messaging to you that you are on the right path. You are going towards the right direction. Keep thinking big, keep thinking different, keep thinking about innovation and shaking off old habits, because you're going on the right path during this time. What is suggested in the first week of November by Mercury in positive aspect with nodes is to make space. Make figuratively and physically, make space for new, because your mind, imagine Jupiter is touching your mind and it is expanding it for the next 1 year. So make space, give up the old, figuratively and physically, make space for the new. 7th of November in Hindu culture is the start of our new year. 7th of November is when Diwali happens, and that's the sign of start of new year for Hindus. And that's the time when in Indian culture, in Vedic culture, it's considered to be the time to remove the clutter. You need to clear the clutter before Diwali comes, and that's what is suggested in the first week of November. Get rid of the old, get rid of the clutter. N degrees Aries would be feeling the pressure of these nodes to end the clutter. N degrees Aries would be strongly feeling this transit coming through, that I need to get rid of the old if I have to reach my next destiny. Saturn is squaring 5 to 8 degrees. Again, March born Aries, Saturn is squaring you, but you're getting the reward of it, because Mercury is bringing new opportunities for you. Authority figures might be demanding more work from you, but at the same time you are being rewarded and given recognition for it. There's requirement for the rest of the year to stay very, very alert for your health, especially if you're March born, because Saturn square to your sun, if you're an Aries sun, can affect the health. So just stick to the routine. Starting a health routine, it's a great time to do that. Starting a new health discipline, it is a great time to do that. Now, the first week of November itself is very, very active, because this is not all that's happening. Jupiter in Scorpio, still in Scorpio, because it will move to Sagittarius only on 8th of November, is making a grand water trine with North Node and Chiron. This is a healing water grand trine in House of Endings. During the first week of November, it's all in very, very closely in water signs. It is happening in House of Endings. Jupiter and Chiron together are healing you from the need to prove yourselves to others. They're giving you the message there is no more any need to please others. There is no more any need to prove yourselves to others. Trine is easy, so it's easy to miss this transit, but know that this is a great time to heal your hidden wounds. It's a great time to heal the need to be appreciated by others. That things like these, wanting to be appreciated, wanting to be accepted by others, are holding us back, and hence we need to let that go. And that this transit, Jupiter and Chiron coming together 1st of November and the first week of November, are great for letting a baggage go, a karmic baggage go. No more undermining your own progress and then giving the power away to others during this time. So that's the learning and the positive influence that is coming from Jupiter, Chiron and North Node coming together in the House of Endings. They're healing and ending. They're healing our need to prove ourselves to others. In addition to that, we are from 3rd of November. This is all happening within the first week, the week that I'm standing in right now, as I'm recording this on 28th of October. You're having all of these transits within this week itself. But from 3rd of November, you start feeling the enthusiasm of going for the new. There is a Jupiter is making an in conjunction with Uranus. This is enthusiasm taking you to completely uncharted territory, but it calls for discipline. It asks you to be disciplined, because it's all happening very, very much at initial points. It's all at 0 degrees, so it's a newfound opportunity. It is a newfound expansion. It needs more discipline. It needs more work. It will go on and continue till 13th of November. First half of the month, Jupiter and Uranus will be in conjunction, which means that enthusiasm will be taking you to completely new places, but discipline is called for. This transit is only exact on 8th of November, but you start feeling it from 3rd of November itself. You also see from 3rd of November, Sun and Neptune coming together in positive aspect. That will become exact on 6th of November. This is very much required because it strengthens your faith in the transformation that you're undergoing. You start feeling a hidden hand coming of support, spiritual support your way. And Neptune is retrograde right now, so there are no illusions in the faith and the belief that you're having in your dreams, in the omens, in the signs that you're seeing. You are sort of putting more faith in the situation, and this is strong self-belief. This is strong belief that when you take the leap, you'll be caught. This is the kind of intuitive knowing what's right for you that comes through from 3rd of November onwards towards the exact date of change on 6th of November, because 6th of November is when the signs of major planets change and the changes start getting triggered off, because Uranus is moving back into your sign on 6th of November, and it will stay there till 6th of March 2019. It will be retrograde till 6th of January. From 6th of November to 6th of January, it is in your sign, but it is retrograde. It is like Uranus is re-entering Aries. It had almost finished its 7-year cycle in our sign in May, but it's like coming back for the last swoop. It is coming back to sort of scrape the bottom and just release the last doubts that we have in the situation, that we need to detach from the existing path to move towards more passion, to move towards more of our karmic destiny, because Uranus is making a T-square with the karmic nodes during this time. So it is saying that you need to detach from an existing way of being if you want to be on the successful path, if you want to be on your karmic path, if you want to make a name for yourself in the world and contribute something meaningful to the world. You need to give up the stability. You need to give up the old way of being. And I'm sorry, you know your personal situation better than I do, but that's what the transits are pointing to. That is what the energy is pointing to, because it is not just Uranus that is changing signs on that day, on 6th of November. North Node and South Node are also changing sign. North Node is moving into Cancer and South Node is moving into Capricorn on that day, and they will stay there till May of 2020. I talk about it in detail in the 2019 section, but North Node moving into Cancer is taking care of you. It's about creating more stronger emotional and family foundations for you, and moving away from old way of being in your career, moving away from the way you thought you would be successful in the world, old way of your title. You thought this is the title I should be in the world, giving up that way of being and detaching yourself from the outcome of the effort you're putting in the career, and becoming more spiritual, more selfless in giving to your career, including a more spiritual aspect to your career, including a more selfless give factor to your career. And Saturn is also demanding discipline, but South Node is saying you need to detach from an old cycle. Uranus is saying you need to detach from an old cycle. This is a cardinal T-square. As I spoke about at the start of the video, we were in a fixed grand cross earlier. It's slowly becoming a cardinal grand cross by the end of the month, and that is the start of it. You start feeling it even earlier in the month, but 6th of November you feel a trigger point when when Uranus moves back in your sign. You sort of have an urge to end the old karmic cycle, because it's come to a maturation. It has served its purpose. It has given you what it was supposed to give. Now you want to go towards the new cycle. Jupiter is expanding it all because Jupiter is making a positive aspect with nodes during this time, so it's expanding this transformation. And at the same time, Uranus is currently retrograde, so it's a mental knowing. You might be taking the mental decision for it. Uranus will go direct in January, on 6th of January, so you'll see physically these drastic changes coming about. So if you're leaving behind a career, the start of the new career might be in January, from 5th or 6th of January, when the eclipses happen in that sign and Mars moves in your sign, so you have the energy to pursue this new career at that time. There's a slowdown that is happening from 16th of November, so you're probably not making a new start at the end of the year. It's more after 6th of Jan or 7th of January that the new start might be coming about. This is followed by Jupiter changing signs into Sagittarius on 8th of November. This is an excellent change, but more importantly, it is ending a cycle of transformation. Jupiter for the last 1 year has been in the house of transformation, the house of, as it's called, little death, even the house of grief to some extent, as it's defined in ancient astrology. So it might have expanded the grief, it might have expanded some of the losses, and it might have provided healing as well of that losses over the last 1 year. And we are ending that cycle on a very healing note, and now we are moving into an expansive cycle, because Jupiter in Sagittarius in the 9th house is all about adventure. It is about travel, it's about learning, it's about pursuing new and foreign things that we did not think that we'll go after. It's about expansion of mind, physically and metaphorically. You're going ahead and meeting new set of people. You're going and pursuing new education. This is excellent for publishing. This is excellent for initiating a new education. It is excellent for some legalization process start, or a new visa process starting if you want to become a citizen of a country. It's about finding new mentors and the right teachers. It's even positive for your father, if your father is a mentor figure in your life. This is a positive karma house. This is a lucky house. It's considered, when Jupiter is in Sagittarius, it gives you the benefit of past karma. So if you believe in that, you can believe that there is a lot of positivity and faith in your future coming your way. You can look back to November 2006 to December 2007, when Jupiter was last in Sagittarius, to see how it panned out for you. But that's exactly what I feel it will serve. That's how it served in my life when it happened last 12 years back. Then on 7th of November, we have a new moon at 15 degrees Scorpio. This is happening in your house of joint finances, karmic ties, and debt, taxes. This is about initiating a cycle of paying off debt or receiving money from others on the mundane basis. This is about just finishing some kind of debt, taxes, joint finances issue, and initiating a new cycle. But this is also in conjunction with the Venus retrograde that just happened in the same house. It's about initiating a new cycle in the terms of partnership, whether it is your committed partnerships or it is your committed business or personal partnerships. If you are in a committed personal partnerships, then this is about intimacy in that relationship. It's about a new phase of intimacy in your personal relationships. It's if you are in a business partnership, this is about new terms of financial agreement in your business partnership and getting the right worth for yourself. This works very well with where we are going with Venus retrograde coming to an end, because the cycle will extend from 7th of November to 23rd of November, and the cycle is followed immediately by Venus meeting Mars as well. Venus retrograde meeting Mars, which means a final action is happening, a final act is happening for all the Venus retrograde discussion on your joint finances, on your payments that you're supposed to receive from the financial institution, or the payment that you're supposed to receive from the business partnership that you are in. This new moon is coming in positive aspect with Pluto, so it is a very powerful new moon, because the ruler of the new moon is positively aspecting that. The power of Pluto's effect on Sun will grow. It is more exact on 11th of November, so it will take time to show itself. Any new beginnings after a new moon are better delayed after a day or two, especially when the new moon is happening in Scorpio. You want moon to be in Sagittarius, in a fire sign, to initiate a new start. So around 9th of November is a good time to have a new start versus 7th or 8th of November. This new moon is also happening in positive aspect with Neptune, which is a bit of a weaker and separating aspect, but it is intuition driven action that you're taking. That's what it means. There is a bit of intuitive knowing that you need to make this new start and end the old cycle of being with this new moon. This new moon is sitting right on top of Alpha Star of Libra constellation, which is called Zubiganabi. I talked about it in the August video, in the Sagittarius video of August, when Jupiter had just occulted the star in August. And now this new moon is happening on top of the star. This star is the point of great ending and great new start, which is what it is for you. We are starting at a point between a great ending and a great new start, and this new moon is asking us to forgive and move on. Forgive the old cycle, give up the old ties, heal from the losses that we have had in the past, and finding peace and resolution of that and moving forward. Venus will be meeting immediately following this new moon. You'll start feeling the Venus trine Mars transit, which is going exact on 9th of November, but you'll start feeling it from 7th or 8th of November itself. These two planets have been clashing each other for the whole of the summer, so this is a great relief that they're coming together in a positive aspect with each other finally, which is very positive for your partnerships. It's very positive for your relationships, both friendships as well as personal partnerships. This is great for, because now you can take a positive action which is based on positive discussion, positive thinking, and reconciliation. So that's why I said around 9th of November is a better time to have a business and personal discussion. And 9th to 11th of November, because Venus is ready to take risk. Venus is a morning star now. It wants to meet your desire, and Mars is getting them. Mars is working positively to get them, but Mars is also ensuring that you're not giving up your interests and your hopes and dreams in the process just to agree with people, because Venus in Libra really wants to form a partnership, but Mars wants to make sure that your individual interest is taken care of. That's why this is a very good transit to have. We are also having Venus in conjunction with Chiron around that time, so you would be having a very strong lesson right now. Be sure that whatever decision you are taking right now, don't compromise your well-being, don't compromise what you have learned through the Venus retrograde cycle on making sure that this resolution in the partnership works out for you as well and is not compromising you in any ways. Following that, from around 9th of November, you start feeling the Sun and Pluto coming together. Sun and Pluto are coming together exactly on 11th of November, but this is such a strong and powerful transit. It makes you very, very magnetic, very, very attractive, especially sexually, as well as in a business situation, because Sun is sitting in a financial house and Pluto is sitting in your career house. So if you want to have a discussion about your financials in your professional settings, whether with your business partner or with your boss during this time, you'll feel empowered to have that discussion and take the right call. So 11th of November is a extremely powerful transit. It's also a transit to clear out the closet. Just you need to come into control, come into power in your career, and you're deciding to clear the closet at that time. And this is a physical act of clearing the closet on 11th of November. This is when Venus is very, very strong as well, because Venus is about to go direct on 16th of November. So the whole 8th house process of discussion on your joint finances, discussion on what you're paid, how your partnership is working at work, and how are you with in terms of your intimacy in your personal relationship. This is a powerful resolution of that. This is clearing up old attachments, even old partnerships to some extent. If Venus retrograde has taught you that this is not the partnership for you, then you're clearing out the closet in that sense as well. This is very good transit to go deep into research just before Mercury retrograde happens, because Mercury is going retrograde on 16th of November as well. So use this transit to figure out the details. Because Sun and Pluto are together, you can actually go deep. There's very little energy available after 16th of November to go deep into new documentation. You might be working on revising the old ones from 16th of November. So it's best to use this energy before the Mercury retrograde to make more detailed plans about this new deed that you might be looking to sign, or new terms of partnership that you might be looking to sign with respect to your work. That also brings us to the middle of the month, when around 15th of November Mars will be meeting Uranus. Mars is a ruler. It gives us the boldness, the assertiveness, and the excitement to sort of end something old and initiate the new. And this is coming in time with the Venus retrograde cycle coming to an end as well. So we sort of take the action of disassociating ourselves with an old network and go after some new exciting networks during this time. There's excitement at the very least. You feel very, very social between 13th to 15th of November. This is also a time when the creativity is at its peak, because Venus will be will be very, very strong during this time, because it will be stationary and about to go direct on 16th of November. So creativity is at its peak during this time. You will do your best creative work between 13th to 16th of November. So this meeting new set of people, this excitement, this adding of new ideas could be very beneficial during this time. But it is not the time to get into details, because Mercury will be meeting Neptune. So the conversations in detail could go vague. Mercury meeting Neptune is a great time to be creative, to engage in music, dance, poetry, creative writing, going social, but not get into business documentation, because the details will be very, very vague and you'll not feel like going into the details during this time. This is great to form a bigger picture. This is great to think about a larger goals for you. And this is great to even have a tough talk with yourself, hear yourself, what is holding you back in terms of who actually a person may be in your circle who's holding you back. Realization of that hidden enemies, realization of hidden enemies that are coming in path of your expansion. Realizing all of that is great between 13th to 15th of November, but not to get engaged in detail activity, because right after this Mercury is going retrograde on 16th of November. Mercury retrograde is nothing to be feared about, because Mercury is direct 80% of the time, so your brain needs some downtime, right? Because Mercury rules our intelligent thinking. So it is just a mental downtime which initiates. You want to cool off a little bit from 16th of November. It just means you need to be extra careful in terms of your business dialogue. You need to be extra careful in terms of your emails, travel. It's a natural cycle. It's about looking at something that you have previously initiated with new lens. It's about change in perspective. Every Mercury retrograde brings a change in perspective, and that's exactly what Mercury will do right now. It's happening in your adventure house, so this is the new beginning that you have started envisioning. The retrograde is happening in terms of you realizing more things about this new beginning and looking looking at that new beginning from the new lens. So you realize where are the gaps, how can you fill them, can you reconsider some of the things, could you discuss a few more things with the new opportunity that you're going after. So it's a transitional period. It's a period to uncover issues as well. It will extend from 16th of November to 6th of December. If you could avoid travel, do it in December, after 6th of December, but there's nothing that stops because of a Mercury retrograde. I have traveled for holidays many times during Mercury retrogrades. I just make sure that the planning is a little bit done better, or we just stay flexible in terms of our travel, because things could go a little bit different from what we had planned during that time. So that's middle of the month, but a beautiful aspect is forming on 16th of November, when Venus is going direct, and Venus is going direct in conjunction with the beautiful brilliant star of Spica. It is going direct in the sign where it is happiest, in Libra, plus it is forming a conjunction with the star that is known for creative blessings, that is known for brilliance. It makes whatever it touches brilliant. So if there's a creative venture, creative business venture that you've been working on, this is an excellent day of realization, and you start feeling it right from 13th of November itself, that something is coming together, both in your personal partnerships as well as in your creative ventures. You see something going together. Plus Venus going direct is great for your relationships, your personal relationships as well as business partnerships, because all the review exercise and the in-depth retrograde cycle that was going on, which was affecting our personal relationships to some extent, that will get healed going from 16th of November. You start feeling that a cycle of stress in relationships is sort of coming to an end with that. And it is coming to a beautiful reconciliation. Just make sure that you're not compromising yourself. You are taking the learnings of Venus retrograde, of taking care of what do you truly love and desire in partnerships, and bringing that to this new cycle of Venus. From 16th of November, you also start feeling a healing grand water trine that Sun is forming with Chiron and North Node. This is a grand water trine that was formed earlier by Jupiter in the house of endings. So it is sort of a period where you act on the ending, where you decide things are done. I know what I want from Venus retrograde cycle. Now I can move on with my life. I can move out of toxicity. I can move out of dependency. I can start a cycle of independence. I can start a cycle of authenticity. That is the turning point around 18th of November, where things are completely transformed for you and you have a true realization to go after your new goals. This is also when Mars has gone into Pisces. So our ruler has gone into Pisces in our hidden house, in the 12th house. Mars rules you, so all our actions are driven by Mars. When it goes into 12th house behind the scene, you are more interested in endings. You are more interested in not wanting to engage in action, not wanting to engage in conflict. This jives in well with the Mercury retrograde cycle. It's a cool off period of action, but I think it helps you even more because you don't engage in the negativity that might come across in the coming few days in terms of conflicts that might come across. It's not you, but the other people are also getting affected by that. That's going to happen around 26th 27th of November, when Mercury and Mars will come into conflict with each other. I think this cycle helps you that Mars is moving into Pisces from 15th or 16th of November. It is also very much desired because Mars will be squaring Jupiter during this time, and it's going exact on 20th of November, but you start feeling it from 18th of November that Mars is squaring Jupiter. This is going to affect everybody else, but Mars rules you. So there's a tendency to blow up action when it's a period of not really engaging in blown up action. Again, Mars going behind the scene helps you because you're more interested in finding new ways of retreating, finding new ways of taking care of your health, finding new ways of engaging into spiritual practice, finding new ways of giving to others and doing charity practices. It's a great energy to have a new start in these areas, in areas of relaxation, in areas of spirituality, in areas of charity, in areas of doing things behind the scene. It is not the time to blow up action and burn out. And Mars squaring Jupiter is very much an impulsive and rash energy, which is happening around 20th of November. So beware of that. It will affect a lot of people around you. Over the top enthusiasm, too much pump up, great enthusiasm, which is all great, but you can attract some tactless action during this time. So just beware of that, because you are healing from the past, but mid of December is when the new beginnings are truly happening for you. Even at the end of the month is a better time to have new expansions begin, but not at this time, not around 20th of November. So just be aware of that. It's great for positivity, it's great for enthusiasm, it's great for positive thinking. Our ruling planet being aspected by Jupiter, even if it is in a hard aspect, it gives us positive thinking. So engage in cleaning up the slate, cleaning up anything that is under the carpet stuff, and take care of your health. Hunt out hidden enemies and defend. Don't go on aggressive. Defensive is a better strategy during this time if a conflict arises. On 21st of November, Sun is forming in conjunction with Uranus. It can make it very hard for you to relax at this point in time, even though you want to relax. A few of these dates from 19, 20, 21st, because of Mars and Jupiter engaging and Sun and Uranus engaging, you might find a pressure to change and sort of, you want to end something. It's important to be flexible during this time. Changes are a must, but you're okay to end things during this time, but just hold on. If there's a Mars related activity or an action related activity, stay behind the scene. Don't blow up your actions during this time. On 22nd of November, Sun goes into Sagittarius. The more the planets move into Sagittarius, the more positive it is for you, because Sagittarius trines you. It is your fellow fire sign. Now we have Sun, our physical action, Mercury, our mind, and also we have Jupiter, the planet of expansion, all of it sitting in Sagittarius. This is positive for you, especially early Aries will start feeling that. This is adventure. This is feeling like going on a vacation. This is expanding your mind. This is reading up on new things. Take this time till end of December, while Mars is behind the scene, to absorb new things behind the scene, especially spirituality related things or new knowledge. You are like a sponge when or so many planets are in 9th house in terms of new adventures and knowledge. And take a vacation if you can. You could probably take that after 6th of December if possible, but if you have to take it before, just be careful of your travel plans. Following this comes the 23rd of November full moon, and that's why your vacation might be a little bit delayed, because 23rd November full moon is happening in your busy house. It's happening in 1 degree of Gemini. So while you're thinking of adventure, you're thinking of expanding your horizons, you're thinking of going for the fresh new start, the mundane comes to bite on 23rd of November. This is about some day-to-day business which might take your attention for the next 1 week or 2 weeks ahead, but I would not get distracted by that. It is there is so much good that is there. Just deal with it. It's some day-to-day business which requires your attention. It might be some old project that you need to bring to a closure before you go to a new start, and some day-to-day activity that you need to end. It might make you very busy for the next couple of days from a business perspective. As I said, Mars requires you to stay behind the scene, not go over the top. So just resolve whatever is there. This full moon is squared by Mars, your ruling planet, so there is some amount of conflicts that you will see come about, not really from you, but people outside you, especially your mentor figures, or at work, if you have some mentor figures or father figures, they might be coming in conflict with you. They may not be agreeing with your expanded outlook. And there might be some reconciliation, some discussion, some renegotiation that is required to convince the mentors that you might have about the new start that you're looking to have. And that renegotiation, that discussion could happen around 27th of November. You, as I said, will handle the conflict part much easier than the rest of the sign, because Mars rules you, and Mars is right now in Pisces, so you're not looking to get engaged in meaningless conflicts. You are trying to find the right path. Venus is in Libra right now, so reconciliation is in the air, partnership is in the air, and you're looking to maintain relationships during this time. So look out for that. The way it will pan out is that first on 23rd of November we have the full moon, then around 26th of November Sun is coming in conjunction with Jupiter, and you start feeling the optimism, the happiness, the well-being. It's great for growth. It's great time to start the adventure. It is a great time to think about starting the new adventure, the new good karma cycle that is in store for you. And both of these planets are meeting Mercury on 27th of October, so 27th of November. So you have Mercury, Sun, Jupiter together on 27th of November. If you could manage that conflict that might be coming across in the positive way, there is so much good over here, because this is excellent energy for discussions. This is excellent energy to pave the ground, start paving the ground for the new adventure, the new start that you're having. It is great for positive thinking. Mercury and Jupiter coming together, it's good news, it's positive thinking, it's broad thinking, it's optimism. And this is the second time that Mercury and Jupiter are meeting. They'll meet again when Mercury is direct in December, on 21st of December. So there's so much positivity going forward for you. Mars is even, your ruler is even sextiling Saturn on 27th of November. So it is settling down, it is giving you more power in your career, and you are ready to take on this new adventure following the 23rd of November full moon. So you'll see all of that around 26th and 27th of November. Following that, in the end, we are having from 26th of November, you start seeing the Grand Cross that I talked about at the start of the reading. Venus will be making its last opposition to Uranus, and this is when Venus is direct and it's making the opposition in cardinal signs. So Venus retrograde, whatever was decided in terms of your partnership, you take the requisite action from 26th of November to 2nd of December. You decide this is the pathway to go, and now there is a meaningful reconciliation and action which is good for everybody, and that's your brilliant new start. This is a great month. I hope you like the reading, and do look at the 2019 reading as well, because there's a lot more in store for 2019. Thank you.